LV55 Media, LLC presents the Heroes of Montford Point interview series featuring Montford Point Marine Theodore Peters, Part 1, hosted by Patricia Williams.
So, Mr. Peters, first I'd like to say thank you so very much for serving our country.
Thank you for the recognition.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So tell me, what circumstances or what motivated you to join or the Marines, or were you drafted?
Well, I was drafted, got on to the draft where they were inducting us, and the guy looked at me and said, well, you're going to the Navy. I said, oh, no, I'm not going to the Navy. And so he says, well, you're drafted now. Says you're gonna have to learn how to do what you're told. I said, I understand that, and I realized that, but I'm not going to the Navy. So the Marine sergeant was sitting over in the corner, so he said, send him over here. So I become a Marine.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm glad it happened that way, because I did enjoy the Marine Corps, although we were treated as what that was expected at that time, you know. But I was glad, more than glad, to become a Marine. Still proud of it.
Nice. Semper Fi, huh?
Semper Fi, man.
That's great.
But anyway, they sent us to North Carolina for our boot training. The thing I remember about North Carolina, it wasn't the segregation. I remember that too, of course. But man, the mosquitoes.
Whoa, wow.
Mosquitoes. I never seen so many mosquitoes in my life. Boy, when they got ready to bite you, they didn't even sing. They just started working on you. And we had to clean up the camp, and we actually made the camp ourselves. And we went, glad to get out of boot. And I was most of the guys that come through during my time was it was being put in an ammunition company, a depot. But I was fortunate enough to get in an anti-aircraft outfit, the first combat outfit in the Marine Corps for black. It was 51st Defense Battalion. And so I got in that, and we were anti-aircraft, 90 millimeters, 40s and 20s and 50 caliber machine guns. And they train. But we were always separated from the white Marines. Of course, we'd see them when we go in town. At first they was rejecting us because they didn't want us there. But after we got there for a while, and they saw that they wasn't going to run us away, and what we were doing, they accepted us to a certain degree, because during that time in our history, segregation was ruling. A lot of time we go on Liberty and couldn't get back because the buses was full, and they'd take us off the bus. And we were fortunate enough to have a good company commander. He understood, and he would send trucks to get us. And so things worked out pretty good for us. But there's one thing that stays on my mind. There's two or three things really that stay on my mind. When we were fixing to go shipping out of our camp in North Carolina, we was coming to San Diego here to get shipped out overseas. And we came to Atlanta, Georgia, and they was going to fix food for the Marines, they said. And we got there, and they looked up and saw the troop train was full of black Marines, and that kind of surprised them. But they didn't feed us. Oh. We had to go on, but then we came to Louisiana, and they wouldn't feed us there. But we saw German prisoners that was in the train station eating, and that kind of had an effect on us, you know, for a long time. We had to do a lot of praying behind that, because that's the only way that we could get through. I could get through it, you know. But anyway, we had to put that behind you. I went home on furlough, and had this nice blue uniform on, and had a cousin, I'm going in the Marine Corps. And so he did, but he was one of them that didn't get back.
Oh.
And that stayed on my mind for a long time. See, if I hadn't went on furlough, he probably wouldn't have never been in the Marine Corps. But it's just, what can you say? You can't dwell over this when your time comes. That's just it. We came out here to San Diego. We wanted to get overseas and get into fighting, and that's what we were trained to do. But it didn't happen that way. And very seldom sometimes we'd see a war correspondent, and he would talk to us, and then, I'd question him and ask him, say, we go, why? I know some of these guys are getting killed over here. Why you guys don't ever put nothing in the paper about us? So he would say, well, let me explain it to you. Oh, you guys, 1,500 of you, and if I went in with you guys, and there's one white guy there, what do you think would happen to me? That's the way he explained it, but you know how that is. It's a good answer, but it wasn't a satisfactory answer. We didn't dwell on that. Like I said, I was introduced to segregation when I was 8 or 9 years old, but a lot of guys had never experienced segregation, and it just tore them, it just did something to them. But I found out something that you can't do nothing about. It would hurt you more than it would them. In other words, you'd wind up worrying about it, and it would do something to you.
Exactly, and they just will go on about their lives.
Go on about their business.
So you're so right.
I've been blessed to put stuff off like that, and no high blood pressure and nothing like that because of God. And I was blessed to get back in one piece.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the guys that I went in service with, there's a lot of us. There's over 20,000 that trained at Montford Point during that time, during World War II.
Yes.
And I knew a lot of them when we got back, but now it's very few of them that I served with. But there's a few of us still here, and we're enjoying one another and enjoying the recognition that we finally received. So I mean, it all adds up. It all worked out for the good. The only thing that you hate, the guys that went on, I know a lot of them that passed, and they didn't get the recognition that we're getting. In the last 2 or 3 years, we had a good commandant, and he told us that I've read the Montford Point story, and how bad he felt, and he said, I'm going to help you guys get the Congressional Gold Medal. And he was true to his word.
Special thanks to Jimmy Michael Truitt and the National Montford Point Marine Association. This episode was recorded on location at the 4 Points by Sheridan, San Diego, California, on February 28, 2013.